Hello bookworms, my name is Kim and welcome to my channel Bookworm Buzz. In today's video, I am going to be taking a quick look at eight new releases that are coming out in February 2025 that I am super excited about. So this is a monthly video that I intend to put up on my channel where I will take a look at the books that are being released in upcoming months, or I suppose I should say in the upcoming month. And then I will highlight to you the ones that I'm most excited about. So if this interests you, settle on in guys while we take a look at this month's books. Right, my friends, so I am going to go through the 8 books now. They are not in any specific order. I will also try and let you know when they are expected to be released. So the first one I'm going to show you has a release date towards the end of February. I think this one is expected to be released around February the 25th, something like that. The covers of the books will be here on the screen. I always do put the cover up on the screen so that you can see what the book looks like and what book I'm talking about. So starting off, this book is called Famous Last Words and the author is Gillian McAllister. Now I have read a few books from this author and I have really enjoyed them all. So this one is of course on my radar. So let me just very quickly read to you what this one is about so that you can see if perhaps it's something that you would like to put onto your TBR. So right, this one says as follows. It is the 21st of June, the longest day of the year, and the life of new mother Camilla is about to change forever. After months of maternity leave, she will drop off her infant daughter at daycare for the first time and return to her job as a literary agent. Finally, but when she wakes, her husband Luke isn't there, and in his place is a cryptic note. Then it starts. Breaking news. A hostage situation is developing in London. The police tell her Luke is involved, but he isn't a hostage. Her husband, doting father, eternal optimist, is in fact the gunman. So that one sounds amazing. Definitely onto my TBR it goes. And then next up, my friends, we have this one, which I am so excited about because when you hear the blurb, you will see why. This one is called Something in the Walls. The author is Daisy Pierce. So again, let me just read you the blurb of this book. I think it sounds amazing. Oh, before I do that, yes, just a note. This one is also expected to be released towards the end of February 25. So I think the official release date is the 25th of February. So definitely look out for this one if it interests you. Right, so this one says as follows. Newly minted child psychologist Mina has little experience. In a field where the first people called are experts, she's been unable to get her feet wet. Instead, she aimlessly spends her days stuck in the stifling heat wave sweeping across Britain and anxiously contemplates her upcoming marriage to researcher Oscar. The only reprieve from her small, close world is attending the local bereavement group to mourn her brother's death from a few years ago. Then she meets journalist Sam Hunter at the grief group one day, and he has a proposition for her. 13-year-old Alice Weber claims a witch is haunting her. Hello, guys. I'm all for it. But anyway, living with her family in the remote village of Benethil, Alice finds her symptoms are getting increasingly disturbing. Taking this job will give Mina some experience and much needed money. Sam will get the scoop of a lifetime and Alice will get better. Mina is sure of it. But instead of improving, Alice's behavior becomes inexplicable and intense. The town of Benethil has a deep history of superstition and witchcraft. They believe there is evil in the world. They believe there are ways of dealing with it, and they don't expect outsiders to understand. And that is what the blurb says. It ends there. So sign me up. You guys know I love witchcraft type stories. I love anything to do with hauntings, ghosts, witches, you name it. So this one is definitely quite high up on my TBR. Right, my friends, then book number 3 making it into this video is this one. This is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. Now, those of you that subscribe to Book of the Month might have seen this one already because I believe it was one of the February choices for Book of the Month. This one is expected to be published right at the beginning of February, around the 4th of February, I think. And this one sounds great as well, obviously. So let me just read to you once again from the blurb. A woman invited to her wealthy fiancé's family retreat realizes they are hiding a terrible secret and that she's been there before. So basically, it carries on to say, when Theodora met Connor, she fell in love in an instant. 6 months later, he's brought her to Idlewood, his family's isolated winter retreat, to win over his skeptical relatives. Theo has tried to ignore the threatening messages on her phone, but she can't ignore the footprints in the snow outside the cabin window or the strange sense of familiarity she has about the place. Then, in a disused cabin, Theo finds something impossible, a photo of herself as a child, a photo taken at Idlewood. That sounds already right there, sounds fascinating enough. Theo has almost no recollection of her earliest years, but now she begins to piece together the fragments of her memories. Someone here has a shocking secret that they will do anything to keep hidden, and Theo is in terrible danger, because the Daltons do not lose, and discovering what happened at Idlewood may cost Theo everything. So yes, my friends, definitely on my TBR list. Can't wait to get to this one. And then next up is a book by an author that I have read many books from and that I absolutely love, and this author is Lisa Unger. This book is titled Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. So this again sort of falls into the thriller. It seems to be a thriller mystery type genre. So guys, this one also sounds fascinating. When the real game begins, who will make it to the count of 10? Charismatic daredevil and extreme adventurer Maverick Dillon invites you to the ultimate game of hide and seek. But as the players gather on Falco Island, the event quickly spirals into a chilling test of survival. A storm rages as a deadly threat stalks the contestants, turning the challenge into something far more sinister than the social media stunt it was intended to be. Enter Adele, a single mother with a fierce determination to protect her children at all costs. When she begins the game, she unwittingly enters a twisted web of deception and intrigue. Can she maneuver through the treacherous storm and the relentless competition and get home to her family? So this is basically a story about a ruthless battle for survival. The setting seems to be very wintry, cold and blustery. And yes, guys, I'm all for it. And then who does not love a good revenge story? And this next book seems to be a book that centers around revenge and maybe goes a little bit dark as well. And so super excited for this one. This one is called Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fato. I hope I'm pronouncing that surname correctly. But anyway, take a listen to this, you guys. Winifred Notty arrives at Ensor House prepared to play the perfect governess. She'll tutor her charges, tell them bedtime stories, and only joke about eating children. But long, listless days spent within the estate's dreary confines come with an intimate knowledge of the perversions and pathetic preoccupations of the Pounds family. Mr. Pounds can't keep his eyes off Winifred's chest, and Mrs. Pounds takes a sickly pleasure in punishing Winifred for her husband's wandering gaze. Okay, we've been down that road and have heard that sort of trope before in books. But anyway, compounded with her disdain for the entitled Pounds children, Winifred finds herself struggling at every turn to stifle the violent compulsions of her past. French tutoring and needlework are only one way to pass the time, as is admiring the ugly portraits in the gallery and creeping across the moonlit lawns. Patience. Winifred must have patience, for Christmas is coming and she has very special gifts planned for the dear souls of Ensor House. Brimming with sardonic wit and culminating in a shocking conclusion, Victorian Psycho plunges readers into the chilling mind of an iconic new literary psychopath. Oh, hello, I think that one sounds fantastic. Sign me up. I actually think I'm going to try and get to this one sooner rather than later. Oh, I forgot to mention the expected publication date. Let me just check here. This one again says expected February the 4th. So you will just have to keep your eyes open for this one. And then next up, my bookworm friends, is a book that I'm super excited for because this one, once again, seems to go into the psyche of the main character. I love books that are about mental health and those type of related subjects. And so this one definitely seems to tick those boxes. So this one is called The Strange Case of Jane O. It is by an author that, in all honesty, I haven't heard about before. I'm not sure if this is a debut novel, but I haven't heard about this author, and I don't think I've read anything from her in the past. Her name is Karen Thompson Walker. Now, this one also says it's expected to be released at the end of February. It says February the 25th, as many of the previous books that I've chatted about in this video have said. So I'm not sure if those are just indicative publication dates or if they are precise. They are probably more indicative. But anyway, guys, this is what this book is going to be about. In the first year after her child is born, Jane suffers a series of strange episodes: amnesia, premonitions, hallucinations, and an inexplicable sense of dread. As her psychiatrist struggles to solve the mystery of what is happening to Jane's mind, she suddenly goes missing. A day later, she is found unconscious in Brooklyn's Prospect Park, in the midst of what seems to be an episode of dissociative fugue. When she comes to, she has no memory of what has happened to her. That one already just sounds amazing to me. Yeah, I'm already excited for it. But anyway, carrying on. Are Jane's strange experiences related to the overwhelmingness of being a single mother? Or are they the manifestation of a long-buried trauma from her past? Why is she having visions of a young man who died 20 years ago, who warns her of a disaster ahead? Jane's symptoms lead her psychiatrist ever deeper into the furthest reaches of her mind and cause him to question everything he thought he knew about so-called reality, including events in his own life. So again, like I said, it seems to be about, I don't want to say mental illness because it doesn't necessarily go down that route, but it does seem to be along the lines of, obviously the main character is having some sort of mental breakdown or delusions or hallucinations or all the rest of it. So yes, those are all tropes that I absolutely love to read about. And so another book that I can't wait to get to. Next up, we have this book with such a gorgeous cover. I just think this cover is so striking with all its red in it. But anyway, gang, this one is called Notes on Surviving the Fire. The author is Christine Murphy. Once again, this one has a publication date of 25 February. So I'm starting to think that those are just indicative publication dates. And all you need to know is that this one will publish sometime in February 2025. Now, this one seems to be a story or a book with fairly dark topics, but also is apparently light-hearted at times. There's quite a bit of humor in this book. So that makes it a little bit different from the type of books that I normally read. So let me read to you what this one is about. At a PhD program in Southern California, Sarah and her best friend Nathan spent their time working on their theses, getting high, and keeping track of the poor air quality due to the nearby forest fires. No one believes Sarah when she reports a fellow student for raping her at a party. Everyone just says he's such a good guy. And the university simply files away the information just like the police. Nathan is the only one who cares. When Sarah finds him dead of an overdose from a drug he's always avoided, she knows something isn't right. She starts investigating his death as a murder. And as the pieces fall into place, she notices a disturbing pattern in the other student deaths on campus. As a girl, Sarah grew up in the forests of Maine, following her father on hunts, learning how to stalk prey and kill, but only when necessary. Now she must confront a different type of killing and decide if it can be justified. So again, like I said, serious concepts and themes in this book. Also seems like there's a little bit of a revenge aspect. Is there going to be a revenge killing here? It sounds like it, but yes, gang, this one sounds right up my alley, and so another one that I can't wait to get to. And then book number 8, and the final book that I want to share with you today, my friends, is called Listen to Your Sister by, again, an author I haven't heard of before, but that is because I have just read that this is in fact a debut novel. The author is Nina Val. I'm not sure how to pronounce the surname, but like I said, it is a debut, and so also excited to try this one out. This one is going to be published towards the beginning of February. It has a publication date of the 4th of Feb. Now, this one appears to be a little bit of a horror type of novel. I'm not 100% sure, but let's check it out. Let me read this to you. So it actually says that this book is for fans of Jordan Peele's films, being Stranger Things and The Other Black Girl. Anyway, this book, Listen to Your Sister, is a laugh out loud and horror, I don't know. It's a laugh out loud, deeply terrifying and big-hearted speculative horror novel from electrifying debut talent Nina Veal. So I don't know, guys, that comment right there encompasses so much. So I mean, I'm already hooked just by reading that. But here we go. 25-year-old Calla is struggling since becoming guardian to her brother Jamie. Calla is overwhelmed and tired of being the one who makes sacrifices to keep the family together. Jamie, full of good-natured 16-year-old recklessness, is usually off fighting for what matters to him and getting into mischief, often at the same time. Dree, their brother, promised he would help raise Jamie, but now the ink is dry on the paperwork, and in classic middle child fashion, he's off doing his own thing. And through it all, the nightmare never stops haunting Calla. Recurring images of her brothers dying that she is powerless to stop. When Jamie's actions at a protest spiral out of control, the siblings must go on the run, taking refuge in a remote cabin that looks like it belongs on a slasher movie poster rather than an Airbnb ad. The siblings now face a new threat where their lives and reality hang in the balance. Their sister always warned them about her nightmares. They really should have listened. So this one just sounds very off the wall, very different. You know me, I can do off the wall, I can do weird, I can do dark, I can do different. So when I read this one initially, I just thought this sounds like a book that I absolutely have to read. And on that note, my friends, I am going to say goodbye today because those are the 8 books that I wanted to share with you. I have none others. There are obviously quite a lot of books releasing in February, but these were the 8 that really appealed to me and that I have decided to add to my TBR. So I hope some of these were of interest to you. If you have any recommendations for me, be they books that you've just read or books that you've heard that are coming out, please do definitely leave your comments below. Okay, my bookworm friends, on that note, I'm going to say bye.